It's just two black brothers on the microphone. 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 You already know what the time is. I handle my biz. It ain't no sleeping on the job. Open up your eyelids. We back working on the craft, doing what we do best. Full court running the press. A couple of vets. By request, it's just two black brothers discussing everything under the sun. Victorious run, rushing for the touchdown. 2-point conversion. We not kicking. We philosophizing with pole politicking. The DJ, period, point blank. The choice ain't too difficult when we do what the mother folks can't. In the paint, we going hard, cause we gotta be. Draft pick, lottery flow, sacred geometry. That's right, the people do so much talking. They close their mouth when they hear grown-ups talking. I showed up often doing more of the work. It's 4 eyes, now who you with? Well, spoiler alert, it's just two black brothers on the microphone. Get live for the interview. It's just two black brothers on the microphone. They might teach you a thing or two. It's just two black brothers on the microphone. Tell them if your baby mom asks. It's just two black brothers on the microphone with a motherfucking podcast.
Yo, welcome to the Just Two Black Brothers podcast. I'm DJ Period, Pole Politicking. We got the hip hop motivator, Mr. Griggs. What's going on with you, sir?
Everything's good, man. Apologies for the delay. Had to get some things situated with the children. What's up with your brothers?
What's going on? Oh, you got a comment already, bro.
Yeah, bro. I know. Somebody come in. They might have come in this before the show came on. Yeah, they just talking about. They know about you from Dame. They just talking about that.
Oh, he dropped off.
Oh shit, my bad.
But you had locked them in the backstage.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, that thing be bugging a little bit. But nah, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you well. I just want to make sure I'm good.
All right, bet. There you go.
You went and got the blue blockers.
Yeah, no, I was like, because it's light in here, it's bright. It's bright as hell. I was like, man, I've been out all day running around. What's good with y'all?
No much. I think before we start, Paul, what you was talking about with you said Blueface got arrested?
Yeah, they said Blueface got arrested. They just
what did he do?
Right now. I don't know. They said they didn't get arrested at I just saw it on damn I don't know. I just saw it like right now on the show.
All right, so we got the hip hop motivators. So what's going on with you, sir, man? Let the people know who you are, what you do, where you from.
Man, from Los Angeles, California. Grew up all over. Grew up in North Carolina, Cleveland, Ohio, Tennessee, San Bernardino, Long Beach. You know, I moved around a lot as a kid. So at first I used to hate it, but it turned into a blessing because it taught me how to like kind of move around in different settings.
That's how it was for me. Joining the military did that for me.
Yeah, military kids usually go through that, man. But a barber by trade. You know, I did that for over 25 years. Had my own shop on Crenshaw Boulevard for over 20 years. And then I cut a lot of entertainers in the game. Met a lot of great people, you know what I'm saying, from gangbangers to hustlers to, you know what I'm saying, doctors, lawyers, and, you know, it's all been a blessing. And at this point, I'm an author, speaker, and motivator, man. So my whole purpose right now is to just, shed some light and give people some information as I research it and study it, and just being a vessel of knowledge and understanding.
For sure, that's what's up. It's a lot too. Look, man, real quick, because we was having a conversation today, and man, I had a dude come out and say, I think he was talking about 21 Savage comments about Nas's relevancy.
Okay, well, I saw something about that.
He was saying Nas, he was saying Nas ain't relevant no more.
But I was listening to it. He's saying he ain't relevant to the youth. That's what he was
Yeah.
trying to say.
Yeah, but that's when people when to me, man, when I hear people say stuff like that, that's white people stuff, man. I don't really, what I'm saying, like, cause like to me, it's
that's a
like
fact,
they
though.
don't say that about U2. U2
Nope.
is old as hell. Rolling Stones is old. They still selling out Coliseums.
You know what?
We the only people that do that to each other. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a form of self-hate.
Yeah, academics kind of I like what academics said about it. He was like, well, if it's not relevant, everybody like Gorilla, and he sold more than Gorilla. So how is he not relevant when he's selling more than new artists?
Well, yeah, but that's also some white folk stuff. You know what I'm saying? I listen to underground hip hop, and a lot of people that are really dope are not really selling millions of copies. But if you trying to go for that and you trying to be involved with the vultures, you're gonna feel like that. You know what I'm saying? And maybe Nas isn't relevant to certain people he may know, but to me, he's a pioneer, brother. And this new album is crazy.
Yeah, I'm fired.
I got Godson right here.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
What do he say on the new album? He said, man, sometimes I still text hoes like this ain't over.
Yeah. That album, that song, he got a few dope songs on that. Man, that whole album, can you just let it ride? So, to me, 21 Savage, I don't listen to his music, but I don't hate on nobody that's trying to do their thing. And to me, it's just like anything else. It's like black people need to have like a form of laws created and respect for each other when it comes to like entertainment and when we express ourselves, because white folks, they let the Rolling Stones and U2 sell out Coliseums until they damn near die on stage, the Beatles and everybody, Paul McCartney, but they're legends. But then our elders like Big Daddy Kane and even out here on the West Coast, people like Paris up north and Too Short and all them, they looked at like, oh, they old school. But to me, hip hop is like a young art. So we understand where they're coming from, but not necessarily because everybody has something to say if they got it to say, especially in hip hop.
No, that's true. And then if you say stuff like, J. Cole was more relevant, but I'm like, you can't even say that because that's his idol. How you gonna say J. Cole more relevant than Nas when it's like he got a song that say I let Nas down.
On the other side, if we're gonna speak on the basis of natural law, what I deal with is a polarity to it, and I understand where you're coming from. Like millennials and people that are like 13, 14 years old really don't know Nas's catalog unless they got a father or mother or older brother or somebody in their family, or they just into hip hop, and they into the old classics. It's just like us when we was little kids. A lot of us didn't dig into the Motown classics like that. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't mean that the people that sung with Motown wasn't relevant. True. When I was a little kid, treat them like a lady was on the radio, and I saw the video. I was like, oh, these dudes is old. You know what I'm saying? These are like the niggas that trying to get at my mama when I'm out in the streets with her. You know what I'm saying? Like the Temptations.
But that's the thing is too, like even back then, like you probably didn't know what it meant when they said treat you like a lady. Like
right. You know what I'm saying?
Not as a 5-year-old.
Not as a 5-year-old. But you know what? You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of great counsel around me. You know what I'm saying? I had a few Macs and people that were ex-pimps and people that understand the philosophies. Treat him like a lady, but man must treat himself first in order to treat his family.
Right. I had to be honest with myself because growing up, I grew up in California, so listen, man, you couldn't play no Nas in the 90s. In most settings. If you played it, people were like, "Oh, you on that East Coast or whatever." But but what we find out now that we're older, I'm sure you guys both understand this, is that that's all self-hate. It's like gang banging, man. It's like religion is gang banging. Anything that has been pitched and pushed to black people, we turn it into some type of divide. If you don't believe what I believe or do what I do or spit it how I spit it, you see what I'm saying? And so we got to cut that out because it's foolishness. You know what I'm saying? You don't see U2 hating on the Rolling Stones too much. And if they do hate each other or don't fuck with each other, you don't even hear about it. Hey, and the biggest thing with that is like the things that was happening with Ye and Kyrie. That split us down the middle. Even though that would never split other races and religions down the middle, they gonna all rally. If we in the public eye, we rallying behind that person. Now we may call them on the phone and get on them. Get on her or whatever, but we not gonna put that out there to the public that we divided over some issue. Like
it's just a conscious few of us, man. And the conscious few understand that regardless of what's going on, That's family right there. You know what I'm saying? That's our brother. You know, a lot of times Kanye does and says things that we might not all agree with. Even when I was, all the time with Dame, there's a lot of things he said I ain't agree with. You know what I'm saying? But he's still my homeboy. As I have a video where I talk about that, because what happens is we spend too much time ready to throw people away. And it starts with our family members. We got treated. A lot of us got treated like that, and so we treat people like that because hurt people hurt people.
And we don't even know we're doing it, right? You don't even know.
Yeah, a lot of us don't even know we're doing it. Yeah, word.
Hey, one of our homies told us a story the other day. He said he got drunk and burnt down all his friends' clothes, and his friends still forgave him. Burnt his whole house up, and
you said he got drunk. Y'all phone. Let me stop my phone real quick. You said he got drunk and did what?
He burnt his clothes up, the house up, and it got him a divorce. And he said he's still friends over it. So he said that taught him how to forgive people.
But the one who forgave is white, and the one who did the burning was black. Yeah. We probably wouldn't have forgave nobody for doing all that.
Right. Well, I mean, when you look at it, it's just the same. I don't know if we talked about it, but I talked about it. With a friend of mine, we did an online chat, and we were talking about reparations. And my take on reparations is, yeah, I'll take that check. It's beautiful to me. I would love it. You know what I'm saying? Like any of us, we already know. We seen skits on Dave Chappelle about it. You know how it go. You know what I'm saying? Who wouldn't want that cash? But when you really look at it from a standpoint of, what was really done and what took place, and you can use your own family, because I think, I hear family in the background on one of y'all's joints, but use your family. For instance, if someone came in your household right now, raped your kids, or did something to your wife, or did something to you that was in violation of natural law, which is a transgression, rape, murder, slaughter, whatever, could they pay you 50, 40 years from now to compensate that? Would you feel like that's compensation for what was done? And this is what I'm talking about. But in our minds, we feel like, we'll take that money because it takes money to do things. But if you really look at the philosophy of what that is, that's just another form of that, black people can be bought. And that's silliness, when you really look at it, because I don't know about y'all, but somebody gonna have to pay me with their life. You know what I'm saying? You violate my family. But the only reason we don't think like that is because these are our elders, and a lot of them we didn't meet them. But what you have to understand is, if you touch your arm right now, that flesh you have on your arm right now, if you're looking in the mirror, you're looking at yourself through this lens right now, you are because they were. Right. You are them. So you have to look at it and say, damn it, what I'm saying? What am I really accepting here and allowing here, at this point in my life, to where I can be bought? It's deeper than that. It's deeper than the money. Yeah, take the check. Get that check. I'm not telling you not to get it, but just be considerate of the people that came before you that had to go through the terror of slavery.
So don't be like the skit.
But I guess the thing is, though, so what do you think about people that be like, okay, other cultures got some form of reparations, so that's why.
But they're not us. They're not us. Those cultures are totally different from us. That's oblivious, because we were people that were struck a blow to the head, left for dead, basically. In 1842, when they so-called released our ancestors, I hate saying slaves because no one is born a slave. When they released our ancestors, they released them into the streets, and basically we had to fend for ourselves. Imagine right now, how old are your children?
The ones you hear right now, 7 and 3.
Okay, so about 3 more years. Let's say when he turned 15, kick him out the house with no money, no job, no direction, or nothing to do. And you didn't even say you don't teach him anything from this day on, put him outside in the streets and allow him to fend for himself. He turns into a wolf. He turns into something that's really unnatural to himself, because he's going to fiend for himself. That means he might rob, steal, kill, bootleg liquor. He's going to do whatever he got to do, run numbers, whatever you need to do to survive, he's going to do it. Yeah. So this is what happened to our people. They were put out there. You see what I'm saying? With no compensation. And we're looking at the compensation every time we look at NFL games, every time we look at basketball games, every time we look at any form of television or movies. Look at all the movies they spend, the money they spend on movies, and from Sony and all these different people who are rich because they fucking got free labor from our people. They got free labor. And not only free labor, they got free all kind of other stuff, if you know what I'm saying. Sex, chaos and murder. They could, mess with little boys if you was a man, mess with little girls if you was a girl, rape them, do different things to them. And then when you really look at it, can you really be compensated for something like that? How could you compensate someone for that? And I know other races say, well, other races is getting, but they're not us. They don't have the richness of the story of Black people in America. The richness of the story of Black people in America and in the Caribbean is a very rich story that has not really been told on these movies. They try to act like they're gonna show it, but it's way deeper than that.
Yeah, because
what about the raping? What about the raping of men raping men? There you go. So what I'm saying is it's deeper than what they've even shown and televised.
Yeah. That shit that shit they do with Kyrie is a form of rape.
And
the thing is, they got people like, it was like the next day Jalen Rose himself apologized for shit he didn't even do. I was like, damn. They had everybody apologize for like a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's because it's a game, man. And a lot of times when they apologize, on the other side, a lot of them just, they're just trying to keep their check going, man. And we understand, because again, there's bills to pay, there's things to do. When when a certain type of people have had such a head start on you in the world, what do you expect?
You ain't trying
they
to
have a head start, man. They got free labor. Imagine me, you, and Bro Poe. We sitting up and we getting free labor from about 100 people. Do you know how rich and how successful we be right now? We kicking back and we able to allow other people to do for us and take care of us, and then we take the benefits of it like we created it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Speaking of that, that's my boy right there, Larry. He was telling me about FTX. They said that guy owes 1 million people money. That broker, the FTX, that
right.
He owe 1 million.
He
gonna jump off a building though.
How you owe that many? $1 million. He owe 1 million people. I'm like,
he owes 1 million people. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, because he was backed by Robinhood too.
Yeah, exactly.
He was.
So, yeah,
he was back. You say he was backed by Robinhood.
Yep. So basically, he owes so much money right now. Like, yeah, he probably he gonna fall off. He gonna fall off somebody building.
Wow, that's crazy.
You ain't gonna be able to give them people all that money you owe them, man.
Yeah, it's just like, man, the politics of all this, man, and how when we start looking at it on a deeper level, one of the main things that they destroyed is the Black family. You know what I'm saying? And it's not. It's safe to say, we sitting here building right now. It's safe to say that it's a lot of things that are inappropriate in our household sometimes, even with our women. And with the disrespectful tongue and the, us disrespecting them and us not listening. And, you getting people, it's like having your children and you don't raise them or teach them anything. And you allow them to be raised and taught by society and what they see and all this stuff. And they get older and they don't have the manual how to do it. You're going to get out there and burn something up. It's like cooking something without following the ingredients. You're going to mess up a few plates. You're going to mess up a few dishes before you get it right. But it doesn't take all that. It shouldn't have to take all that.
But yeah, and this, like you said, it's so much deeper, man. Like I used to, in school they was had us do a little research with Carl Hart, and he was just talking about like the whole drug thing was just a lack of options. Because he was like, look, if you took a person hooked on crack and said, hey, I'm gonna give you either a $10 bill or I'm gonna give you this rock, they're gonna take the rock. If you say I'm gonna give you a 20, they're gonna take the rock. But if you give them 500, now they like, I'm gonna take that 5 because now I know a whole bunch of stuff I can get done with that I need in life or whatever. And that goes to say about the same with jobs. Like if you gave that person a job making whatever amount, they like, man, I could stay on the street just smoke, man. But if you tell them, look, you coming in at 100,000, and they like, okay, I'm gonna clean myself up for that. Because there's all about options with that stuff. So if you feel like you ain't got no hope,
it's options, man. Decision making. It's like it's I have a polarity. Like again, I have a polarity of understanding when it comes to the brothers when they make decisions. I understand like Kanye right now. In a lot of ways, to me, I know that he's in pain. I'm seeing pain when I see that brother talk. I'm not really seeing someone that's stable mentally. Like he's sharp. Like a lot of things he's saying is the truth and it's on point. But the only thing about it is, you have to be strategic and covert with all of your information when you get out there, and the one thing we must understand is like, we had somebody, one of the elders that, passed on, but his idea still stands, which is the Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad. And he always told his members to study the white man. Don't hate on the white man. Don't disrespect the white. Don't look at the white man and say, oh, forget him. No, study him. And if you pay attention to them, what you see is they do everything covert. They keep it on the low. They don't come out and just be blurting out and saying any old thing. You know what I'm saying? They don't. It ain't a lot of singing they do. You know, but it's a lot of singing that our people do, and they get out there because we get over emotional. And this is the problem with most of us. We get over emotional and we don't understand the natural gender within ourselves. And like I talked to Poe about, you know what I'm saying? There's a masculine, feminine element within yourself. This ain't man, woman stuff, not physical man and woman stuff. This is an inner world that you have to get in tune with in order to control your emotions. See, when you get over emotional, that's the feminine aspect of yourself, including when a woman does. And when you create, that's the feminine aspect. Anything you create, any idea you come up with, that's the feminine aspect of yourself.
I say that's the same. I think part of that be the reason why we, like when we dealing with the police, this is my thing too. I feel like over history, as a black man, you don't want to be accused of something you didn't do, right? So like, you might get emotional in trying to prove that you didn't do whatever it is because just because of history. So like, I think people take that as a form of aggression. Because you know we animated when we trying to show we ain't do nothing.
Yeah, and it's a lot. You know, it's like the abused child, man. Like, you know, when someone gets tired of getting their ass kicked or seeing their people getting their ass kicked, and you used to being, you know, on the lower end of the totem pole in your mind, you will react a certain way, you know. And this is what goes on. But it all, you know, then again, it all starts with the self, man. From the self, then it goes into the family. You know, a lot of us are, you know, we're at that age where we have families now. You know, we have children and we have a woman that we're trying to maintain and deal with. And she's trying to deal with us. And she's, you know, she's learning as she goes. And, you know, and a lot of people feel like they don't have a problem when they really do have a problem, because all of us come from some form of dysfunction. And until we take a look at that and understand that the formative years are the most important aspects of our lives that we need to look at, not history. You know, you can look at that history stuff. That's good and that's cute. But what you going to do with it? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes history makes you feel bad about yourself or bad about your people. So it's better to look at the history that fits where you're trying to go in this world. And that's the history of the kings and queens, the gods, the beautiful stuff that comes forth. Now, there's always going to be that negativity there. But you got to remember, there's also a law called the law of rhythm that talks about the pendulum swing. The right side is the good stuff that we all like to be on. But that left side is that testimony that you're going to go through the fire. You're going to go through problems. You're going to have issues. There will be ups and downs in everything you do. You know, there's a time you're going to have money. There's a time you won't have money. Once upon a time, we were all young sitting on this camera right now. Look at us now. As we transcend, we're getting older. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, your body might not feel the same as it used to. You might feel a tweak in your knee that you didn't feel when you was younger. You know, you might not feel the wind that you used to have, but at the end of the day, the number one thing to always remember is that we have the ability to transcend the swing of emotions. And transcending the swing of emotions is based on getting a knowledge of self. And natural law is the truest knowledge that any human being can have, man. There's 7 principles, and we overlook those things, man. We overlook what transgressions are, you know, and this is why we don't deal with each other in a proper light. That's why black people really can't get together hardly and put money together in a pool, because we don't trust each other. And we don't trust each other because we get over emotional a lot of times, you know, when a problem arises.
A pool or a susu?
Well, you know, eat both of them. You know what I'm saying? When people put money together, to say like, hey, let's all go in and get this building over here. Right. You know, well, who's going to hold the money and who's going to, you know, and
look, let's say you Kenyatta, you put in 10,000, I put in 2, and Poe put in 2. You gonna think it's really yours. But I'm like, nah, it wouldn't have been yours unless we had that 4,000 add to your 10. But we think about it as, if I put 10, then they got to do a lot more work in it than me, all kind of stuff. Meanwhile, you got a whole house, everybody making 100,000. They live in one house, stacking the money till they can buy another one.
And that's the thing. That's what Kanye was saying, low key. You know, it's like, man, they people stick together. You know, so what we need to do is we need to study them and begin to take those lessons and start, man, come new, man. But the first thing that has to be done is we have to gain a knowledge of self. We have to learn what a transgression is. And any transgression is a form of theft. You know, when we murder someone, that's taking a life. You rape someone, you have taken their chastity. You hurt someone in their physical body, you have taken away their right to feel good in their physical body. You see what I'm saying? So if I steal something from you, we already know what that is.
Yeah.
So transgressions, we just have to have laws, rules that we live by and have principles. See, these principles will keep us in balance with one another and will give us the boundaries we need in order to function with one another. Because boundaries are the same thing that you see when you're driving in the street or you're on the freeway. If those lines weren't there and that median wasn't there, it would be chaos all day long. There would be so many head-on collisions. It would be more deaths than COVID. Because boundaries are the name of the game. Without boundaries, nothing works. And it starts with yourself, though. You have to start with boundaries for self. You know, sometimes you got to say, I can't eat that extra cookie. I don't eat that piece of cake. It's 8 o'clock at night. What the hell I look like eating ice cream right now? What am I doing? Why am I yelling at my woman? You got to have boundaries. Why I'm about to spank my kid? Damn, let me look at some knowledge on how I should be disciplining my child. You know what I'm saying? Because spanking the child teaches the child to fight to solve problems. You see what I'm saying? This is where we come from. This is what we come from. You know what I'm saying? Until we get through the psychosis and look at the formative years, nothing's going to be fixed. Nothing will change until we start uploading new software of information. As you know, the computer is made in the likeness and image of the human mind. That's why the format of the computer is the most important part to the computer.
Yeah, but we don't use our mind like a computer, though.
Well, you know, the computer can't process, can't do the things we do. You know what I'm saying? The computer is beautiful, you know what I'm saying? It's creating a likeness and image, but the computer is an inanimate object basically until it gets legs, you know what I'm saying, and turns into a robot, you know. So, but with us, it's like we can, you know, plant seeds within ourselves and watch them grow, you know, same way we do when we have children with a woman. You know what I'm saying? It's the same principle, as above, so below, as within, so without.
I was gonna ask y'all what y'all think about the last thing I heard Kanye talking about, what he was saying his mom got sacrificed. Y'all heard?
Yeah.
What you think about when he was talking
like he was saying earlier though? Look, man, some stuff that ain't nothing for the public because we don't know what he talking. Look, there may be people who know what he talking about, but it ain't us.
No,
right.
We can speculate on what it means, but it's people who really know what that means.
No, people were saying that when she died, so it's weird that he say that because people.
Yeah, he felt like it was some strange circumstances.
No, that's what I'm saying. But him saying it in public to the normal person, it's like, what are you talking about? But
well, you know, he's emotional, man, and you know, I know him personally, and I cut him in the beginning years, and he's definitely an emotional person, like most artists. Most artists are very emotional. You know, you used to hear me and Dane build on that. And the reason that emotion is there, because again, the emotion is the feminine aspect. That's why most artists, singers, especially when they're masculine or they're men, let's say not masculine, say men, what happens is the feminine aspect shows a lot more in some of our greats, because the creative aspect of all of us, me, you, and Poe, is the feminine aspect. The logic is the business side. When you run in business and you handling your business and you telling, you know, and you doing things from a logical standpoint, that's the masculine principle within yourself, including with our women.
What part of Drake is the 21? Can you do something for me?
That's the feminine aspect. Absolutely.
I was like,
it's all creative. Word.
Hey, I guess they said, I looked it up. They said Blueface got arrested for attempted murder.
Oh man, yeah. Well, you know, and was he in LA?
No, he in Vegas.
Oh, yeah, that's almost worse. That's almost just as worse.
Yeah, 2 hours ago.
That's like being caught. That's almost like getting caught with a gun in New York.
All day.
Or LA.
Yeah. It's a wrap for you, huh?
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah,
but now I don't know, man. Just to talk about that, I say, I don't know, man. Like you were saying, what we do about people who live that certain lifestyle, like they say in the lyrics, are they doing that to impress people? Because I'm like, what's the end goal for rapping about that type of life and you ain't in that life?
You talking about murder, chaos, or you know what I'm saying, like gangbanging.
Well, how we gonna? Because I think that's what motivate the young kids more than listening to what we talking about now.
Yeah, if you put a mic in someone's face that doesn't have knowledge of self, you will get that. You know, these people are handpicked on purpose. You know, the same thing I just heard Dame the other day talk about. Not to bring him up again, but when he was talking about Kanye, he was like, "You keep putting a microphone in his face, and he's unhealthy mentally. What do you expect?" You know what you gonna get from a 2-year-old if you keep putting the mic in his face? Goo goo gaga, you're gonna get broken English. You might see, the baby might say they booty itch or something. They're gonna say anything. Like my mommy was yelling at my daddy. They'll tell the truth in your household. You know, so it's like, what do? You know, it's like, you know, it's a plan, man. You know, it's like in movies, like when you watch these movies and you listen to this music, it's a plan. It's a plan to keep you unbalanced, you know, to keep your frequency off and unsettled and on chaos and on murder and death. And, you know, it's constantly pushed in your face. But the last time I checked, it's white people doing chaotic stuff and crazy stuff all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? But they don't really talk about that. They don't push that agenda as much as us. And it's on purpose because, you know, we are the real jewels, JEWELS of the world. And so why not, though they shine, put they light out through putting out all this chaos and constantly programming them and their women with all this stupid stuff, the 6th grade education stuff. You know what I'm saying? The you know, stuff you seeing on television, the housewives and all the drama and the stupidity and everything that's coming down your feed on Instagram and Facebook. And you're like, damn, you just being bombarded with all this stupid shit. And then what happens is you don't even take the time to think about yourself. What are you trying to do? What are you going to do?
Yeah, you blinded by that stuff.
It dims your light because you don't take the time to refocus and realign yourself with what it is that you desire, because you're so distracted by so many outside things, taking your attention away from your higher self. And that's what the problem is. Yes, so things are newsworthy, but at the same time, when you look at it, it's like, well, shit. I mean, damn it. Let's talk about these. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get this stuff going with these ideas and do these things. You know what I'm saying? That we need to do. Put a plan together, 3 individuals and 4 individuals and 10 individuals, all our homeboys, and shit, start putting $10 a week in something and just stack it up, man. And, you know, and make a trust and do some things for, you know, with each other, man, and show other people how to do it. You know, because there's people doing it.
What do you do? What do you do though, or how it make you feel like? Because you are definitely in the minority as far as the way you think. But is what you do trying to get more people to think like that, or to try to acknowledge
you
yourself?
know, man, that's a dope question. But you know, like I told me and Poe build on this last week. And for me, you know, I died and came back already, man. I felt the cobra bite me in the face. You know what I'm saying? That whole, I got shot up. I laid there. I know what it is. You know, we all got a date. But, you know, to me, it's like, since we all got a date, what does it mean for me to be in fear and to keep continuously being programmed by these people that mean me no good and be acting like they mean me well because they throw a few niggas on a damn film screen and they call a movie Black Panther and they make it feel like it's for you, but it ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? It's to betray you.
You still,
you know what I'm saying? The warrior friend, you know, all this so funny stuff. Yeah.
Cause that's one of the main things I think Kanye was saying too, where I think people got lost in that, is that he was saying that the black voice, the black vision, the black whatever is being perpetuated by people that ain't black. And he basically, is he fighting against that or trying to change that or what?
Well, it's a tricky slope, man, because you know, these people, they got the same skin tone as us, and you know, and a lot of people, you know, we all are mixed up with different things, you know, but it's like even in Hollywood, they're using a lot more African instead of people right here in Hollywood, right here in America. You know what I'm saying? The American black man and woman. And then, you know, it's the way they go about doing things a lot of times. And I'm not saying that we should be tripping off that and give them all power, but the same thing you guys are doing right here is that we need to all start controlling our own media and what we put out there. You know, underground hip hop still got positive hip hop going. They still got dope, positive shit jumping off. They still got dope party music going on, but it's on the underground. Yeah. You know, what y'all doing is creating your own narrative through creating media, like me and Dane was doing back in the day. You know, and this is what's going on right now, to where we can politic with each other. And we probably would have never politic with each other because we live in different points of you know what I'm saying, of the world. You know what I'm saying? He's in San Diego, I'm in Los Angeles. We might not even ever cross paths. You know what I'm saying? But because of the internet and all these things that have been created, it gives us the ability to connect with each other and build on some real things, man, and try to, you know, give each other's knowledge of self and these gems to elevate ourselves, because a lot of us we got families, man. We don't want to, we don't want them to repeat the same thing we did. You know,
I was telling Poe that we were talking about the other day that sometimes the stuff you try to run away from, you end up doing it because you doing it without knowledge of where you want to go. All you know is I don't want to be that.
Right. You know,
and whether it's whatever it is, right?
It's like, you run right back into yourself, man. And we don't take the time to look into. We look more into our entertainers for information and entertainment, of course, like we do, but beyond entertainment of whatever they pitching, like if they doing music, but when they get crazy or they out here doing silly stuff and saying different things and giving their opinion of things, it takes the focus off of ourselves and our families. And this is done on purpose, just let's believe. And it's not just for black people, they also doing white people like this, you know what I'm saying? Because all the white people that are up, they're not the others, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the people, the unseen hands that you don't see. What's up, man? All the unseen hands, you know what I'm saying? The unseen hands, it's people that are doing things on purpose. It's the magnifying glass with the sun beaming through it on the pile of ants. And they look at us as the pile of ants. But some of us ain't in that pile. You know what I'm saying? Some of us separate from that pile, you know what I'm saying? And we have the courage to stand away and stand apart. Because to have knowledge of self is sometimes painful, because you see people that surround you, they've been struck a blow to the head and they ain't waking up. They're not waking up, and it's gonna take more than the flash of a camera. It's gonna take more than a flash. Yeah.
So how you deal with that, like when you're dealing with your family?
With my family, same way I do with anyone else. No judgment. I'm not trying to force my opinion and what I feel on people. Anytime I really talk about this type of stuff is when I'm doing podcasts, or if I'm doing the interview, you know what I'm saying, or someone asks me, or when I'm going out to be paid to speak, like I did today when I went to the school. So it's but that the message I had at the school today is toned down, of course. But I was like today I was just building on character. But I don't have so much judgment of individuals, because I know that the law of vibration is one of those things. When you look at that law, everyone is on different frequencies at different times in their lives. When I was in my 20s, I damn for sure wasn't on this frequency. When I was 15, I wasn't on this frequency. There was things my mother and people used to tell me I didn't hear, but now my ears are amplified and I hear different things now that I didn't hear before. And it's the same way it works with young ladies. Like, once upon a time, it was a certain woman that probably wouldn't have gave you a look. She would give you a look now because she looks at her philosophy has changed. Once your philosophy changes, everything changes around you. Yeah. That's why you never give up. You know what I'm saying? Never give up. You know what I'm saying? Put it into yourself and be on your purpose as a man, and everything will flow. Definitely.
Man, when I met my wife, I was wearing Mesquite. But it was like, but if you was around somebody who was cool with Mesquite, you wouldn't have known, like, all right, man, there's better stuff out there, right? But
oh yeah.
But then it's like, oh, okay,
yeah, Mesquite, they had like the fashion where they had the paint and stuff on their clothes.
They had stuff all over them clothes, man. You'd be like,
they had some dope pieces. They had some dope pieces. I had a few shirts.
Had a big ass fire dragon on your shit, like
yeah, it was just like colorful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they was dope. I actually had some shirts made right in front of the people from Mesquite, and they were dope, man. Yeah, they were dope.
I was saying that because it was like you would think that, like, you think you doing something in the Mesquite, but it's people wearing some other stuff. But it's like, and you could use that as knowledge too. Like, all right, I'm down here at this level, man. All I know is Blueface, and I think that's the best rapper ever. But you ain't never heard nothing else. Or man, just simple fact is you live in, like you said, you moved around. I got family members, man. They ain't never left Sacramento.
Wow.
So they don't know, like, man, and they think that's where it's at. I'm like, man,
like there's like people in LA that ain't never been to the beach. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's crazy, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's real people like that, though. It's real people like that. You know what I'm saying?
My boy, his name Ryan Anthony. He got this song. He be like, "I'm a San Diego nigga, but I barely see the beach."
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the beach. This is a beach city. So that's the crazy like, damn, you would have
right, yeah. And it's truth to that, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, to me, like the number one thing with elevating your game and raising your value as a man, even for women, but mainly for us as men, because it's three men sitting here, is that you know, you get educated when you move around and you see different things. You know, it's just like studying different things and studying a different language. If you study Spanish, you begin to understand Spanish people, you know, and so it's the same politic. It's moving around, seeing different things, checking out different clubs, different types of people, politicking. You ain't got to go mess with, you know what I'm saying, no other races if you ain't into that. Or if you into that, do what you got to do. But at the same time, it's all about elevating your game and raising your value, your value based on experience. You see what I'm saying? All the experiences you've been through, you've seen some things that I haven't seen. Right. And I've seen some you haven't, you know what I'm saying? And this is the beauty of being able to connect online with brothers and build shit. It's dope, man.
And I think, man, I was thinking about when like when LeBron and them talk, and I think the people who don't want us to know, they don't mind them being the role model for us, right? They're like, all right, y'all want to go ahead and listen to LeBron? Go ahead.
Yeah, they push that on you, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you cheering at their games and you doing all this stuff, but there's so many things that's going on, like real things in the world that have been going on. You know, let's just go back to 2020. There's so many real things going on that I don't know about y'all, but it you know, for me, you know, I like football, I like basketball, I can watch these things, I love it, you know what I'm saying? When I'm chilling and I see it on, I'll watch it, you know what I'm saying? I used to be a heavy Laker fan, but the only thing about it now is that I just look at the time that's being wasted. And if there's something that I can add to myself when all this is going on, it gives me more motivation to do it, you know, like going to the gym, you know what I'm saying? Or sometimes when you wake up in the middle of the night at 3 or 4 and you start writing and stuff and you getting that pen out and you start politicking or reading a good book and you're adding to yourself, because as you add to yourself, you add to your family, you know, and, you know, it's you know, you got to understand, woman is symbolic to the moon. The man is the sun. The woman always reflects what we give her. You know what I'm saying? The woman gives back to you what you give to her. And that's just the way it works. And that's why a lot of women can't be helpmeets to men, because a man don't have a man without a purpose it's impossible to really, for that to really go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Unless she got way low self-esteem or something. Because a woman wants a man, a woman is always going to be attracted to a man that's about his business. You know what I'm saying? The sexiest thing we doing right now is being on a podcast, doing something outside of our women. And don't think it because you might think it may be light or something. Oh, it's just, you know, we just on the computer. Nah, they pay attention. If they around you, they paying attention. They like, oh, he doing something. He got something going on. He's about that business. He's about something. It's not so much about money. It ain't really about as much about money as you think it is.
Yeah. So what you think about the girls? Like, it be a lot of girls that like, I know one girl, she'll marry a dude in jail. So like, why would they do that? Like, why would you go marry a guy
the same reason our mothers loved us when we was little babies and we didn't have no money in our pockets and we didn't have no talents and we didn't have nothing going on. We were shitting and crying on ourselves, you know, because the politics with women that a lot of men don't understand is based on how you make them feel. If they feel you, they're gonna get you. They're gonna fool with you. Man, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no way around it. You know what I'm saying? If she like you, you know, and that's why it's very important for men to go after and pursue and continue to mess with the women that like him or the woman that likes him. When the woman don't like you, it's a problem.
Hey, that's why when I worked at the jail, you had the women and all over. We got even an inmate could pull a CO if that's the type of time that they own. Like, and the fact that he or she incarcerated ain't got nothing to do with them being charismatic. Knowing how to talk a good game to him, I used to wonder that too. Like, why she mess with inmate over all these COs that work here?
Right.
But it's like
because at the end of the day, you know, it's like everybody got their needs, man, and you know, it's that, you know, people go off of how women more than anything else go off of how they feel. You know, a woman will take your money if you give it to her. But she wants to, if she feel you, she gonna fool with you.
Hey, what Too
She'll
Short
go in her pocket before you will if she like you.
Hey, Paul, what Too Short said on the end of that? The world is filled with him and Puffy and with Big Puffy and Too Short. Yeah. Too Short had some game on the end of that.
Yeah.
Surely that's because you had a good job, you nerd.
Mm-hmm. And that's what that's the, you know, like from what I've learned, the politic of being a barber for so many years and talking to so many different types of people. You know, when pimping come in the shop, you know, different cats that's in the pimp life and the Mac life, You know, and they giving you game. They don't give us game on how to mac honeys and how to pimp them, but they telling us how to be men. You know what I'm saying? You know, being a male is a gender, being a man is principle. You know what I'm saying? It's a position. You know, a lot of us ain't men. We look like men, but a lot of these fools you see ain't men. You know, and being a man is being about your business. It's being about your business. And regardless of what she talking about, you still remain a man. You still stay true to yourself. And sometimes being a man means sometimes you might have to bounce. You might have to say, all right, well, I ain't going for that. Once you set boundaries and they get violated, you got to be like, hey, this ain't going. I'm not going for this. Now and you got to hold true to that without yelling and screaming, without getting emotional, without crying, without doing all that punk stuff. Nah, man up and stay in your logic side and get out the emotion side. You know what I'm saying? Get emotional with her when it's time to hit it. You know what I'm saying? And get with her on the physical level, get emotional with it, put that energy into it. You know what I'm saying? You know, but at the same time, it's about being masculine. It's about being men, man. You know, saying a lot of us don't understand the position of manhood. You know, the position of manhood is she will trust you when you begin to trust yourself. But if you ain't trusting yourself, if you don't know where you're going, how can she follow you if you don't know where you're going? How can she really believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? No woman can believe in a man that doesn't believe in himself. Try it. It'll never work.
No, it ain't gonna work.
And she'll take your money as long as you give it to her, even if she's around you and you don't believe in yourself.
Hey, you know who the perfect example of that is? Scottie Pippen's wife. You see how she got dirty. She with Michael Jordan's son.
Ain't she with Michael Jordan's son? Yeah.
That's so goddamn dirty. I can't believe she did that. That's dirty.
Well, you know, I believe it because at the end of the day, you know, shit, you know, and then it is foolish for Michael Jordan's son to be fooling with her if he's fooling with her. You know what I'm saying? Because again, don't think for a minute, you know, she ain't watching. He ain't coming forth with principle. See, the principle is if I know that's your chick and I know how she did you, my principles is not going to let me fool with her. I'm going to charge her to the game. Man, and then let it be known.
That's why I be feeling about the Kardashian stuff. Like, why y'all waiting in line to date this woman who been married 3 or 4 times and get
it. You got desperation, and the real reason is because a lot of men out here don't have the real confidence that it takes to hold it down. You know, because you know it's not that you'll keep a woman because you know everything in the world is temporary. You know, we here right now, but you know. We all have a date where we won't be here. You know what I'm saying? So everything in the universe is temporary. When you use that philosophy and that politic and connect it to everything in existence, what happens is you begin to start removing yourself from possession. You stop tripping as much off if somebody stay or don't stay or they don't stay. You begin to look at things different. You know what I'm saying? And you begin to put it all into yourself to become the best man you can be in order to provide for your children and your family. And if you have a wife, the greatest thing you can do is be on your purpose. If you have a girlfriend, the greatest thing you can be on your purpose. If you don't have anyone, the greatest thing you can do is be on your purpose because during your journey, you're going to meet like-minded individuals.
Hey, look, if I had my speakers, I got my headphones on so she can't hear, but she'd probably be in the back yelling preach.
Yeah. Peace to your wife. Peace to your wife. You know, because you know, women are complicated, but they're also simple when it comes to the basic needs and necessities. You know, no woman is really happy until the light of her man is shining. Like if you know, and the way that light begins to shine is when you get on your purpose, not arriving at your purpose or your goal destination, but working towards something, becoming a greater individual. You know, if she sees you, you know, starting to get on your body game, you know what I'm saying, and work out, which every man should be doing. You know, you should be working out every day. You should be doing some form of fitness or eating a certain way and making sure that you healthy as can be, taking your vitamins. When women see this and they're in close proximity, they have no reason but to respect you. How can they not respect that? Because you respect yourself. If she sees you disrespecting yourself, you letting yourself go, you ain't keeping yourself up. What you expect her to feel about you? And don't think for a minute just because she with you, she don't think that. Because they won't tell you that a lot of times. Because you gotta remember the most covert person, the most covert gender is a woman. She'll have it held inside of her and she'll be looking at you. Look at this fat ass nigga. Look at this bum ass nigga. Yeah.
She like, this nigga had the same underwear on for 3 days, huh?
Look at this bum ass nigga. Like this nigga walking around thinking he the man. This nigga ain't hitting it right. Get your shit together. That's how she feels.
Actually, going on what I was going to ask you, I was going to say, but what about all these, like the song "Fuck Nigga Free"? all the girls singing that song, so that energy is out there too. So
What's the song? I didn't hear what you said. The what?
Fuck Nigga Free song.
Yeah, but that ain't who I'm attracting because I ain't on that vibration, so I don't even pay attention to it. You know what I'm saying? I only concentrate on my vibration, and my vibration is going to attract what's for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to attract that vibration. If it does come in my cipher, you know what I'm saying, it's going to run away from me quick because I ain't budging.
Yeah, she going to run. She going to be like,
I'm not budging and removing my principles for nobody.
She like, he think he Dr. Cornell West or something, but you don't want that.
Man, I ain't giving my as we know, I ain't giving my nuts to nobody. I don't know about y'all. I ain't giving them away. You know what I'm saying? We gotta stay men, man. Being male is a gender, being a man is a position. And the position we're in as men, because we sitting here and your son's sitting there, man, he's in a position right now where he can get filled up with all the game that he needs to continuously be the greatest individual he can ever be. You know what I'm saying? And that's a beautiful thing because that little man right there has the possibilities of bringing forth something to help people, beyond entertainment, but if he's a natural entertainer, that's fine too. But beyond entertainment, he has the ability right now, his formative years, because how old is he?
3.
Oh man, he's in the formative years. So you really have to be mindful of what you have him watching, looking at, what you say around him, how you treat his mother in front of him, and how she treats you in front of him. You know what I'm saying? But the most important thing in front of him is how you treat yourself. You know what I'm saying? How you treat yourself in the front of your children is very important. Your children see you keeping yourself up. My dad used to take me with him when he used to go get pedicures and manicures. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be sitting there in the chair like, dang. And then he'd be like, yo, go ahead and do his nails, go ahead and do his hands and stuff. And when I was a little kid, I used to go, my dad be out, be cologne shopping. I'm thinking he buying perfume for the woman, his wife, or whoever he was with. He was buying cologne for himself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like keeping ourselves up. That's key. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't where you want to be physically, mentally, or spiritually, the name of the game, there's work to be done every day. There's homework to be done every day. And the best homework we can do and the best growing we can do is for ourselves. Right. Money can grow and all those things are great, but unless you're healthy, it means nothing. It means nothing unless you're getting yourself in tip-top shape and you're trying to just move, because healthy people die all the time. You know that, what I'm saying? Look at the dude from Herbalife. He was healthy, drinking drinks every day, taking vitamins, and he just passed away. So, I mean, that doesn't mean you'll stay living because we all got a date, but the name of the game is always continuously work on yourself to be the best version of yourself you can be. Yeah.
Yeah, dope.
Because that speaks volumes. You gotta understand that speaks volumes not only to women but everybody you deal with. People see how you treat yourself. They think twice before they try to play you out. They think twice before disrespecting you because they know you hold yourself in a high regard. For young ladies watching, what I'm saying, if you got daughters, the game that you give them is always pay attention how the man treats himself. If the man don't treat himself right, he ain't gonna treat you right. Because the first person that you're gonna treat right is yourself.
True.
And if you ain't treating yourself right, then get away from him. If he's drugging himself, drinking himself to death, eating himself to death, he ain't taking care of himself, he's dirty, he ain't clean by the body and by his clothes, get away from him. You get in his car and his ketchup packages everywhere and it's nasty. You know what I'm saying? I understand we get dirty cars sometimes, especially when you got kids, but guess what? It ain't nothing but the trash can move. It's a trash can move,
Yeah.
But you always got to pay attention to how people treat themselves. Even when you go into business with them, pay attention to the small things. The small things will save you from the greater things that may come about when you're dealing with that person. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. This is all in the book.
Well, it said well, in Culture Vultures a little bit, but my book Think and Ball Out. I have a book, Secret to Ball, and the audio book is up. Secret to Ball in the movie is filled with game. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've always been the barber. I'm not the barber that talks a lot, so when I do talk, I'm talking with some common sense. I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about more ideas or more philosophies of how to become greater people. And so my ears prick up when I hear knowledge and I get game. You know what I'm saying? My ears don't prick up when I hear about 50 Cent or Jay-Z. My ears prick up when I hear game. How can we elevate ourselves as men? How can we elevate our women? How can we elevate our children? That's what makes my ears prickle. That's the only reason I sat there with Dame. I didn't sit there with Dame to talk about Jay-Z. And if you notice, we didn't do a lot of gossiping and talking about people because I was the person that started the interview. So I'm not talking about that type of shit. And if you ever notice, Dame get irritated when people be asking him shit like that. Even though he'll answer it, pay attention because everybody interviewing him is just doing the same thing I already did. I did it to death. I did it for 10 years straight. So he gets irritated because it's like you asking me about, I don't care.
You want to talk about Cameron or you want to talk about this
stuff. You can't really be on a certain level, like even on a millionaire status level, if you concerned with other people. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's why we don't do that. That's why we don't do it.
Think about what your wives is thinking when they hear you talking about other niggas. They like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? And low key, your wife might be attracted to the nigga you talking about, the entertainment you're talking about.
I'm gonna tell you like this though. I was like, because I was looking at academics, but shit, he's like, this shit popping. That's all he do. All he do is sit there and talk about rap people all day.
And there's a place for it. There's a place for it because it's like watching football. There's a time when I ain't got nothing to do and I might watch the game. Like I watched the good game this weekend. The game with the Buffalo Bills. That was a good game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I ain't watched the game in a million years. You know what I'm saying? I ain't watched a basketball game since Luke Longley was on. No, wait a minute. Was it Travis Knight was with the Lakers? Nigga. That's how long it's been for me.
01, 03?
Back when the Lakers was beating Portland and different people in the series and had Sabonis crying. Yeah, because I figured it out quick. I figured it out in my late 20s. And then, it was like I'm wasting time. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm watching millionaires run up and down the court and I ain't where I want to be right now. I need to work on something. That's it, man.
The homie problem, he said we don't have to get sick to get better. So I know a lot of people they might wait till they get sick, then start trying to make changes. So
that's like people going to jail and read books.
Yeah, you ain't got to get shot to wake up like I did. You know what I'm saying? You can do it. You can sit down and get quiet, man. No motion, no television, no social media. The power of silence is the most important thing that we all can go through. And we all have an opportunity to get silent, even if it's for an hour, 30 minutes. And the most silent times is when we in the bathroom taking or we, saying in the morning when we first wake up or at night before we go to sleep. Mm-hmm. And that's where you cherish those moments and take to sleep with you what you want to give birth to in the morning. So don't go to sleep mad. Don't go to sleep unhappy. Go to sleep with everything that you want for yourself. Take it to bed with you. And what happens is that's a form of pregnancy. That's a form of gestation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Don't go to sleep with your phone either.
Nah, and if you do go to sleep with your phone, make sure you're listening to something that's uplifting. Make sure you're listening to something and watching something that, you can take to bed with you. That's why it's very important. My grandmother used to always tell me, make sure you laugh before you go to sleep. Don't watch negativity. Don't watch like crime movies and death and chaos. Don't watch Paid in Full.
That should be in your dreams.
Yeah, don't watch Paid in Full before you go to sleep. That's my homie movie, but don't watch that before you go to sleep. Don't watch Colors. Don't watch Boys in the Hood before you go to sleep. Don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep watching that stuff because that might be turning to you. That you might take that into the dream realm and make that your reality.
I don't even watch those movies now that I'm older, like Menace to Society and all of those. I don't watch them no more.
And I still like a lot of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I get entertained by some of that stuff. And I still watch it. And I don't knock nobody that do, man. I love it all. But, I like my favorite hip hop is the most ghettoest hip hop. I like ghetto hip hop. I like real grimy hip hop. So, you know what I'm saying? I got knowledge of soul, but I like it grimy.
Like Sebo, brother.
Yeah, because I'm not getting influenced by niggas. You can talk gun talk all day, and I ain't about to shoot nobody.
Who you be listening to?
Man, I like underground hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I'm deep in the underground. I like some of the stuff on a different level, like West Side Gun. I like some of his stuff. I like, I like E40 old stuff. One of E40's greatest albums to me is In a Major Way.
Man, that's the best that's probably the best album with Sprinkle.
In a Major Way.
They discussed it, Sprinkle Me, The Bumble. Mm-hmm. Man, they had he's the way.
Yeah. Sam Boston. Yeah.
Sam Boston. Hey, let's give a shout out. Man, let's give a shout out to Sam Bostic and Mike Mosley, man. Them two right there, that was like growing up, man. They produced everything. Like I'm a big Sebo fan, so most of Sebo beats, most of his beats is Sam Bostic and Mike Mosley, and I just realized that Sibo's first album, Gas Chamber, they sampled that whole album is sampled from just whatever.
All that. I like the Bay Area sound. I like the LA sound. My favorite out here was like, still one of my favorite albums is the Death Certificate album, because that to me that's one of the most complete albums, because every song he was talking about something.
That's No Vaseline.
Yeah, No Vaseline was on there. That's
Steady Mobbing.
Steady Mobbing, but My Summer Vacation.
Black Korea was on there too.
Nappy Dugout, Horny Little Devil. You know what I'm saying? And so, and shout out to Cam. Cam had a lot of influence on that album. You know what I'm saying? The rapper Cam from out here in LA. So, check his Culture Vulture song out. He did a Culture Vulture song with Dame.
Okay, yeah, we gotta check that out. But back what you were saying, we don't like to talk about no negativity or drama on here either, because we not really here for that. Like we don't ask artists. We like I always talk about that interview when King Von was on there talking with Charlemagne.
Right.
And he was like, hey King, well, you can't fill out a job application because you can't put no to never committed a crime. But I'm like, what you doing, man? Dirk had to shut him, like, hey, don't say nothing to him about that, man. Don't speak on that stuff, because they're gonna try to find any little creative way to get you to blow yourself up on camera about something.
Exactly. He taking a bath? All right, I'll be in there in a minute. Go sit down. Be good. You gotta use the bathroom? All right, cool.
That's good, man. Like, it's just good. I like to see black men being fathers, man. I don't know. It's just, and it's probably one of the things. Like, I mean, I grew up. My dad was. Look, Sue Surf said it best for me. He had a He said, "I got a recipe, Daddy Tad. He ain't even dead."
Wow. Yeah.
He's somewhere. Dope. He ain't dead, but I'll rest in peace to wherever he is. But now,
well, he gave you life, so what I'm saying, it's, I mean, you can hate on it, you can say what you want to say, but they ain't gonna push you no further being mad at nobody.
That's why I still talk to him. Hey, look, man, right there, I need to let my brother say that, because this is my thing. Whatever he did when I was a kid, I forgave. Like, I only got one dad. We talk all the time, but my other brothers, they still hold on to like the stuff he did when he was 4 or 5. I'm like, man, I gotta let that go.
But that's another thing. That's emotionalism, and there's no progression without letting things go, man. You can't progress. You can't really move the way you need to move if you hold on to a gang of baggage, physical baggage and mental, spiritual baggage, so it's a process, man, but it takes a lot, man, because the pain body is a ill thing, man. Some people can't get over things, and I don't know if you've ever been in relationships with someone and they couldn't forgive you for something. You like, damn, I didn't even really do, you know what I'm saying? I just did, and they just can't get over it, and you like, damn, they still talking about it, but then the relationship fails because the name of the game is letting go, man. What would your food be if you couldn't defecate, or what would it be? Drinking fluids be if you couldn't urinate? That's a sign. The sign to your body tells you how you're supposed to move in your life. If you ain't defecating, the food that you eat, whatever you put in, you're supposed to circulate it back out. You get knowledge and information, you're supposed to circulate it through verbs. You gotta use your words. To all nouns, person, places, and things. You got to speak on it. Share your testimony. We all got a testimony. We've all been raised by different people who didn't know what the hell they was doing a lot of times. Didn't know what they was doing. Didn't even look into what they was doing. And this is where we come from.
And they followed other people that didn't know what they was doing.
There you go, man. The chains of dysfunction can be broke by us, though, while we sitting here with our young children.
But and on a hip hop level, I think we are starting to do that with our greats. We are starting to keep them relevant, keep them alive, and listening to them and talking about them. Right. I don't think they didn't have that like when Big Daddy Kane became like a legend or not rapping. Because like we always talk about the thing with Game when he said you 38 and rapping, but next thing you know, it's like he 38 and rapping. So it was like. At that time, it was cool to talk about that, but now it ain't cool to try to talk down on somebody because of their age.
The other side too is black people. We are people of spirit, and I think it's fair to say that we grow different than other races of people because we are the original man and woman. So a lot of things that we see older people doing, we look at it as immature because we're the oldest people on the planet, you know. And so if you see someone that's old and they still rapping about death, murder, and chaos, it is kind of foolish. You know what I'm saying? And you're trying to, or if you're that old and you're trying to relate to a 14-year-old, it is foolish.
And
you
that's
know,
why
because
that's what Jay-Z. I think Jay-Z did that. Jay-Z went and started rapping mature. I think people didn't really like it because they was like, you was clowning Nas for doing the same stuff, but it was
yeah,
like,
but you know, like I said, man, we all grow, and you know, once upon a time, we wasn't feeling how we feeling right now. You know what I'm saying? We might have been on some grimy shit. Some of us on this camera right now might have been taking shit out of stores. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Or selling dope. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna incriminate ourselves, but we wasn't the same people we sitting up here to be right now. We done did some shit now. We done said some shit, did some shit, and we like, damn.
We've been lucky. We've been lucky too a few times, right?
Mm-hmm. Everybody. Yeah, me too.
Hey, what he say on Con Air? That's one of my favorite movies. He had all them tattoos on his arm for everybody he didn't rate, and he had 23 things on there. He said it'd be 100 if they knew the truth.
Oh yeah,
my name would be Johnny 100, not Johnny 23.
Yeah, that's why I don't really have no judgment, man, for cats, man, when it comes to like what they do, because I know it's a process, man, to stay on the right path, you know. And it's like,
I always say that
it's always gonna be
righteousness is narrow. It's a narrow path for righteousness.
I always be like,
always
like in the churches, I'd be like, man, the preacher be probably the one that did the most dirt on everybody. He tell her what that preacher did.
Yeah, you know, and it's the preachers be doing it, and you know, but it's like, man, it's like one of those things, man. It's just like it takes a lot of work to battle any form of addiction or any form of, idiosyncrasy that we all have, you know, and it takes work daily, man. And you know, as they tell you in the Bible to check your faith, you know, you have to check your faith daily. You know, what kind of faith are you having? Yeah. What kind of faith are you following? You know, or do you have credulous faith? You know, or you a person that has credulous faith? A person that has credulous faith is a person that believes because other people believe. They bow down to someone that's superior to them. But the person that has courageous faith will go through the fire, like in Meshach and Abednego. They'll go through the fire in spite of what someone says. They just don't stand by their beliefs. You know, we kind of low key seen this with Kyrie Irving. He stood by what he believed in, you know, not just saying that he's some kind of prophet or something, because, you know, he's not my prophet. You know what I'm saying? I believe that everybody got the God ability within them. But at the same time, you know, stand true to what you believe in. If you don't believe in the gay thing, don't believe in it. If you don't believe in the dating white girls, don't believe in it. You know, whatever you feel. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
They said something at church recently, man, that stuck with me too, because like a lot of these vices and a lot of these things that we do that are negative, we're not strong enough without some type of faith guidance to get out of that on your own. Like a lot of these people, you're not strong enough to do that stuff on your own. You gotta believe in something and somebody that's gonna help you. Because if you on dope, you cannot see yourself not being on dope. Yeah. But if because you're not really, you ain't going to church for the most part. But if you had something to look forward to, or somebody able to get you to believe in something, then at that time you can see yourself at the end of the tunnel, not using or not stealing or not whatever you're doing. That's
why I believe in counseling, man. Like counseling and seeking wise counsel or going to a professional, man. Like to me, there's nothing wrong with that, you know, because you know, these people have been trained to help you in that way and to be a listening ear without judgment most of the time. You know, if you get a good counselor, a good psychiatrist, you know, because like I said, all of us come from some form of dysfunction. You know, me, you, and everybody. You know, my mother and I come from a school teacher background, and you know, I have a child psychiatrist in my family, and you know, my mother's sisters are all like professional ladies, and you know, my aunt that's a child psychiatrist, she didn't believe in hitting and doing all that stuff. So whenever she saw my mother getting ready to spank or tap us when we were very young, she checked her and she put her back in the position to, you know, handle things different, you know, certain punishments, certain timeout situations, a certain, you know, paying attention to what the child likes and take that thing away from him or her when they act up. You know, opposed to hitting them, you know, because hitting teaches children to fight. That fighting is the way you solve problems. And that's the way it goes as we get older, because that's how most of us came up. That's why you see most people get so emotional or yelling to solve a problem. You know, the parent that yells is the parent that's out of control. You know, the parent that yells, eventually that yelling ain't gonna sound like nothing. And that child may yell back at you or be like, F you, mama, F you, daddy, or whatever you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So the name of the game is that you have to be in great balance when you're approaching your children with things. You know, hitting is, to each his own. You know, when they're very young, you might have to tap a couple little hands and say, oh, don't touch the stove, baby. That's hot. No. Whatever, but that high chair, put them in the high chair, put them in some kind of form of timeout. I know timeout sounds white, but it's not really white. It's a philosophy that, you keep you allow your children to keep their spirit, because when you yell at them, that lowers their self-esteem. When you hit them, that also lowers self-esteem, but it also teaches them to solve problems through fighting.
Hey, that's crazy, because my 3-year-old, I guess they teach him timeout at the daycare, man. So like sometimes if I say something to him he don't like or whatever, he'd be like, you need to go in timeout. But I'm like, yo, you asked me for something that I don't want to give you. You get upset. He don't yell at me. He say, hey, you need to go to timeout. I'm like, dang.
But it's crazy how every child is different, man. Because I have a little sister, and she was a cold beat. She used to talk back to my mom and all kinds of stuff. But today she's a school teacher. You wouldn't even know it. But you know what I'm saying? Well, like for me, my mother told me, she said punishment, anything having to do with punishment, I used to tell her, just whip me, because I don't like to sit in the house. That's like that.
My daughter is. I got a 17-year-old. That's how she is. She's
like,
I just rather hit me and go.
I'd rather you punch me in the face than have me sit in the house all day. You know what I'm saying? Well, my sister, she loves sitting in the house. She didn't care either way. So she had to handle her different. So what that meant is she had to take certain things away from her that she liked. You just really got to pay attention to the psychology of your own children. You got to fall back and watch them. Pay attention. But a lot of times we don't. Why don't we pay attention? Because what's usually on when we have our children? Television. We watching news. We watching the game, and so we don't pay attention. We're playing a video game. We are bumping nothing ass music. We doing something that has nothing to do with anything, and we sitting up here, and our child is sitting there giving us all the game in the world. Especially if you got a little girl. Little girls watch their daddies. They pay attention.
Fact. My son's 7. He said, "Daddy, you watching?" He said, "Daddy, I can't watch that because it's rated teen." But growing up, shit, they like, yo, you want to go ahead?
We didn't know nothing about that. We was watching Cinemax at night. I know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Being exposed to sex stuff too early, man. And
we got this ugly line on the TV trying to find the nipple, right? You like,
oh yeah. I mean, but if you look at it, that's what, tricking is connected to all that sexual behavior, you know what I'm saying? And the whole philosophy with not being a man, being more of a male, your gender says male, but you're not holding down the position, because sex is the end all be all to you, you know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of us like that. We all want the satisfaction we want when we want, but sex at an early age is not good for you because it creates tricking. Because you'll pay for it. You'll play like you nice and do all kind of stuff to get it, and that ain't the way you do it. You know what I'm saying? It should be given, not to get. You don't want to get it. You want to have it given to you.
You ain't flowing them. You ain't flowing them out to get it. What they call it? He flew me out. I'm like, what?
Flowing out.
Flowing out.
And, they say it ain't tricking if you ain't got it, but and all that stuff. But I don't believe in those philosophies. I believe that these are people that don't take the time to look at themselves because they hide behind their money or whatever they have. But if you really look at why you're tricking and why you're paying to make someone like you, if you fall back and you sit still, you pay attention to why you're doing what you do. And it's not just tricking. You pay attention to what you do, why you do what you do, whatever negativity you got going on. Man, you might bust out and start crying.
Man, look, this is my thing too, and I know it's probably some men ain't gonna agree, probably whatever. Man, look, somebody told me this one time. They said, "Listen, man, before you think about tricking, go and do what you gotta do, spending money, man, just go rub one out, bro. Like, look,
that too. But see that,
you gonna rethink."
That's cool too, you know what I'm saying? There's no wrong way of doing it, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to what you do, but you just have to be mindful that, the energy exchange doesn't go anywhere. So, you want
to have sex eventually, you keep jacking out.
But what they say, that's somebody said that's having sex with a spirit. Who said that?
Yeah,
Well,
somebody said,
everything produces something, you know, and so it produces
you
more
jacking off the
lust, you know
porn,
what
you
I'm saying?
jacking off the spirit. That's what they was trying to
Right.
say.
You
Yeah,
know,
they say you having sex with the
watching
spirit.
a lot of porn until you understand what you're doing. You know, if you don't have the knowledge of it and you ain't studied tantra and you ain't studied the sexual philosophies, you watch a lot of sex, you know, it'll mess your game up as a man, or it may make it stronger to where you just aggressively getting at women based on sex. You know, and I used to be that person, but you know, watching a lot of porn creates lust, you know, and when you in the streets, you know, the woman know what you want. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Women
from
know
the
what you
jump.
want.
Yeah, from the
Shit, your
jump.
wife know what you want when you want it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like you have to be a man. You know what I'm saying? The sexiest thing a man can do is have balance and have control over his libido first and foremost, and have purpose. You
Right.
know, don't just be out here like, you know, that's why women, you know, they like players. They ain't gonna tell you that. They like when you a player. They like when girls
Yeah.
like you.
But the
They like
thing
when you a
about
player. Yeah.
yeah, the thing about pimps is like they gonna be with the girl. They might not even have sex with them till they give them a certain
Yeah.
spot. So they
Because you
making the
don't
girl
lead, you can't
work
lead
for
this. You don't lead with your penis. You lead with your mind.
it. Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's no man in the history of man that has controlled a woman just with his penis. Like, you know, there's like pimps know, like when they prostitutes go out there and have sex with different men, there's different sizes, different races with different sizes. There's different types of men. There's different types of energy. And what can you do with that? You'll be running yourself ragged, tripping off sex. So the best thing you can do is get into a mental philosophy for yourself, and it starts with you. The woman pays attention to how much control you have over yourself. As soon as she sees that you a trick and you weak for her box and you weak for her, she got
It's a
you.
rap, huh?
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
And I felt like it was always the other way around too when it came to girls who was looking for something in a man and they sleep with him on the first night. You ain't got nothing coming now. Because
Well, you
I
know,
feel like men work for that. And if you
nigga.
give it to me without working, shit,
Well, flip that philosophy around. You actually hit the nail on the head when you just said that, because everything in the universe is based on reward and punishment.
all day.
Everything is based on there's some form of compensation for what you put in. What you put in is what you get back. The law of rhythm tell you that. Rhythm compensates. The last line of the law of rhythm says that rhythm compensates, meaning that what you put in is what you get back. Okay. So the reason why a lot of these men that's tricking ain't getting all that they need from their woman cussing them out. Man, I've went and cut entertainers. I ain't even gonna say his name, but I was at his house one day giving him a haircut, and his girl cussed him out in front of me, and I had to pull his coat to him and say, "Bro, you gonna have to like get that together, man. Let me tell you why." And then, you know, and I usually don't say nothing to nobody, but the way she did it was so flagrant. And they was on TV, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Once upon a time, they ain't married no more, and I know why. Because she didn't have respect for him.
I was gonna say what you said to Anthony Anderson after that.
Nah, Anthony, but you know, I never even met dude. But you know, but the cold part about it is that, you know, that happens because initially we don't set boundaries, man. We go into the relationship thinking about sex and the whole cute Cinderella action of the whole relationship, and we don't set boundaries, man. And again, always look at your relationship like when you're driving in the streets. The only way you can coexist next to another driver is because there's a certain amount of boundaries that says stay in your lane, nigga. And a lot of people don't stay in their lane and they come over in your lane. It causes an accident. You see what I'm saying? It causes a problem. So, you know, it's the same philosophy with relationships. And if you haven't set boundaries, that's why, you know, as they tell you in the Bible, again, to check your faith daily, you have to sometimes sit with your woman where, hey, look, let's send the kids to mama house. Let's go to dinner and let's do things, and don't make it like it's a big deal, but have conversations like that with her and pull out the pad and pen and start writing things down and say, hey, I like when you do this. I don't like you. I don't like that. I need this. I need more of that. I want this. Boom, boom, boom. And you listening to her, man, that's a beautiful relationship, because at that point, now accountability is in front of you. I'm telling you what it is. You signing off on this and you understand what's going on. Now we both can be accountable for when we do things that go outside of those boundaries. That's why you got to have car insurance. You know, that's the relationship insurance.
Hey.
You know, to sign those boundaries after you write them down. She needs to sign it and you need to sign it. And then you put it up, make her a copy of it. That's your insurance. So when you pull that out on me and say, hey, we agreed to this though, baby. Yeah, you're right. You know what? You're right. I'll do better. I'm going to check myself. I'm going to check that.
You said some real shit earlier, though. You were saying, like, shit, you might even have to leave based off your principles if they ain't in line with your principles. Like,
yeah,
most guys will be like, A lot of guys might just stay just because, still, but no, you gotta go.
Nah.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying to be malicious about it. If you have children, even in that scenario, even if you're there, there's a form of reward and punishment that can take place with your woman, even if you're in the household with her, as you should be doing anyway. Because if you don't implement reward and punishment with your children, and the women have the children, so psychologically, there's a lot of ways that women have they're not children, but they have the ways just like children. You have to implement reward and punishment. You have to, if she ain't acting right, if she ain't doing what you want to do, get quiet, get silent. Don't hit, don't yell, don't scream. Now you're being emotional. As soon as you start arguing with her, when you argue with her, you turn into her homegirl. She look at you like, and she won't probably tell you this. Most women don't know this and won't tell you this. She be wondering why she don't want to touch you and won't want to have sex, but she's like, ugh, this nigga yelling and acting all emotional and tripping and screaming.
And he ain't shower.
Yeah.
Nigga, he don't brush his teeth. You don't do none of that. Look, man.
I've been through it, man. I've been through it, man. You know what I'm saying? And I've had made those mistakes, and you arguing with your woman and going back and forth because she didn't push you to the limit. But nah, that's not the way to do it. You always want to stay focused and control yourself. So you have to look at it the same way you raise your children. When you go off on them and scream and slap them in the face, that ain't doing nothing but causing problems for later on in their little lives as they grow into adults, and then they got to go get help for that, so it's the same philosophy. Control yourself, think, stay silent, practice meditation, and it'll help you with your relationship.
Facts. Shit, man, we gonna have to. I got the producer in my ear right now.
Yeah, I got to go, man, too, man. But man, bro,
hey,
let's build some more, man. Yo, send me this, man. Let me chop these up, man. These is dope, man. I love building with y'all brothers, man.
Man, anytime, bro. Thanks for the game. Thanks for the wisdom. Anytime.
Hit me up, man. Stay in contact, man. Text me your number too, man. What I'm saying? Let's build. All right.
All right, my man.
Anything you need, anytime, man. You already know, Poe, what it is. All right.
All right, bro.
Send this to me as soon as you can.
I will.
All right, peace, bro.
All right,
we out.
Later.
It's just two black brothers on the microphone. It's just two black brothers on the microphone. It's just two black brothers on the microphone. It's just two